right, a very tragic story for you today. A San Antonio Marine veteran who was working as a security guard at a sports bar was shot and is now paralyzed, shot by an illegal alien. Also, Dallas ICE deports 122 Chinese people. Let's check it out.
We begin with a San Antonio family blasting the Bexar County District Attorney's Office stemming from a shooting on May 4th at the El Patio Bar along Frio City Road on the west side. The man accused in the shooting came into the country illegally. He was arrested multiple times, but despite all of that, he was not in custody and is only under house arrest right now. The victim's family accuses the DA's office of not doing more to protect this Marine veteran who's been hospitalized and can't even speak tonight. News 4 San Antonio's Stephanie Esquivel has more on a story you'll see only on 4.
The man accused of shooting Jimmy is an undocumented immigrant. I pulled up his court records, and he had been booked to the Bexar County Jail at least 3 times since 2020, but he was never put on an immigration hold.
And they told me the extent of the injuries or what had happened. I just felt lost, hurt, empty, scared.
Evangelina Borjan is the sister of 44-year-old Jimmy Friesian-Hahn and says May 4th she received a call that has permanently changed their lives. Jimmy was working security at El Patio Sports Bar on the southeast side when a man tried entering with a gun.
And so they got in a struggle and he fired the weapon at my brother.
Borjan is talking about 29-year-old Wilmer Vladimir Ortega Ruiz, an undocumented immigrant who she says shouldn't have been free because he has a criminal history and has been arrested multiple times.
Someone seriously failed at their job. To not think twice about issuing another bond, and a bond so low.
Borjan is blaming the Bexar County District Attorney's Office. I reached out to them to ask why Ortega Ruiz had not been previously put on an immigration hold.
You know, I want to say something. This guy who was this veteran here, he's a hero. For one, he served our country. And two, who knows how many lives he saved that night. This guy come in with the gun, this illegal alien coming in with the gun. We don't know what he was planning to do. Was he planning to cause harm and act reckless? Who knows? But luckily this guy was here to, put a stop to that, from any danger that could have happened. And sadly, it led to this tragic incident.
The DA's office did not answer my question, but sent a statement saying, since May 4, 2025, Mr. Ruiz Ortega has been in custody under an immigration hold. Our office has been in direct communication with the victim's family, and we are committed to keeping them informed as the case progresses. Borjan says no answer will help Jimmy's recovery.
His future is completely altered. He's paralyzed, he's got some shoulder movement and some bicep, no forearm or hand movement.
A spokesperson with the Bexar County District Attorney's Office tells me because the case is ongoing, they can't make any further comments. According to the court documents I pulled, a judge had granted Ortega Ruiz house arrest shortly after the shooting, but he hasn't been released yet. Reporting from downtown, Stephanie Esquivel, News 4.
Why was he issued house arrest? This is why Governor Abbott has been campaigning so hard for bail reform, and luckily we got at least some of it signed, and we'll have a vote for it coming this November here in Texas. So we get to vote on that to keep violent criminals accused of, people accused of violent crimes locked up behind bars. Now I'm going to play another video here for you. This one is another local report getting to more of the details of this guy, this illegal alien, his background, and why he was not locked up, and so it looks like a whole bunch of mess. So check it out.
Knowing and learning that he had been previously arrested and let go on very minor charges that were de-escalated by our DA, that's even more of an outrage.
Frustration doesn't even begin to describe how a local family feels tonight. Their brother, a Marine, an Army veteran, still recovering after being shot last month. Jimmy Friesenhan is paralyzed now in the intensive care unit at BAMC.
He was working as a security guard at a sports bar when he was shot. The man accused of pulling the trigger, Wilmer Vladimir Ruiz Ortega. He's behind bars, charged with aggravated assault, illegal entry from a foreign nation as well.
Erica Hernandez spoke with the victim's family, who believes that all of this could have been avoided.
Jimmy's not doing really good right now. There's a lot of complications that have come up.
Since May 4th, Jimmy Friesenhan has been in the hospital after being shot at El Patio Sports Bar on Frio City Road. Friesenhan was working as a security guard when he tried to remove Wilmer Vladimir Ruiz Ortega from the bar after finding a handgun on him. Police said the two got into a struggle and Friesenhan was shot 3 times.
He's my youngest brother. It's hard to see him in that position.
Evangelina and Stephen, Jimmy's siblings, say that things will never be the same for their family. While dealing with helping in his care, they are now having to speak on their brother's behalf and are pushing for answers from the district attorney's office.
A quick search of online court records, and we were able to find that Ruiz Ortega was arrested back in 2020 for DWI, but that charge was later changed to obstruction of highway. Since then, though, he has been arrested several more times for failure to appear in court, and even at one point had his deferred adjudication revoked back in 2024.
Not only are they upset about their previous arrest, but said it took more than 5 weeks to hear from the DA's office about the latest case.
So he was out drunk driving before. This guy was reckless from the beginning. See how these little things like that lead to bigger things? You know, drunk driving here in the country illegally. Now you have paralyzed a Marine veteran.
The very first time I spoke to anyone at the DA's office was this past Monday. That's 5 weeks later. So there's no constant communication between the family and the DA's office.
We reached out to the district attorney's office, and the first statement they sent said, in part, quote, illegal entry from foreign nation did not go into effect until March 2024. Therefore, the district attorney's office would not have had the authority to assess the charge in his previous case. We had follow-up questions to that statement, why federal authorities were never notified, or why in November 2024 an illegal entry charge was not added after he was rearrested. The answers they gave is that the arresting agency would have to be the ones to notify authorities about citizenship status, and the Bexar County Community Supervision and Corrections Department, who revoke probation, would be the ones to allege violations. Ruiz Ortega does have his first pre-indictment court hearing in early July. For now, the family waits to see what happens and continues to hope for Jimmy's condition to improve.
My brother got a life sentence when that guy shot him. I believe that same justice should be served to him.
Erica Hernandez, KSAT 12 News.
Excellent point. Excellent point. Your brother is now paralyzed. Life sentence. He's never going to be the same because of this moron. You know, it's just sad because the guy went to work to protect other people, and he has a 5-month-old daughter, served this country, like I said, and like the videos here say. And then this guy, I don't know, things like this make my blood boil. And this is what is so infuriating is that, I mean, I've seen this story on Fox News and it's on News Nation, but you're hearing more about these protests, about these people blocking cars, ICE cars, and all these crazy things. These lunatics getting in front of cars, getting in front of vehicles that weigh 1,000 pounds or whatever it is, because they want to stop deportations of violent. A lot of the people that are being arrested are violent criminals, like this guy. And they're even obstructing arrests. They're obstructing operations. There was a story down here. I believe it was Houston. I can't really recall where it was, but I think it was in Massachusetts. Yeah, the idiots blew an operation. They were watching a guy who was allegedly murdered somebody, and then they killed the operation because they went ahead and obstructed. Stupid stuff like this. I think the media is very complicit, is responsible for this. The media is responsible for this nonsense, for vilifying and attacking these ICE agents, calling them Nazis and crazy things like that. You can protest, that's fine, but when you start getting involved with these operations, you're going to get somebody hurt. You're going to get somebody killed. Either yourself or you're going to put an ICE agent's life in danger, but they don't seem to care about that. I've seen videos of them telling ICE agents to kill themselves, and they're throwing rocks at them, all these crazy things. And they don't care. But the media is responsible for a lot of this. And these blue state governors, but like Tim Walz and these lunatics, vilifying ICE agents. The threats against them are up 413% since January 20th. It's just madness. It's really just stupidity. But here's a story for you that, there seems to be no outrage from from the left about this one. Dallas ICE Homeland Security deports 122 Chinese nationals. U.S. authorities deported 122 Chinese nationals who were in the country illegally on a June 3rd flight. Some of those removed were convicted of serious crimes, including murder, rape, and human smuggling. Officials said the operation enhances public safety and strengthens national security. So they arrested, they returned 122 Chinese citizens to their home country on June 3rd. And then we get into some more details here. Convicted criminals on flight. The group, which included 96 men and 26 women, ranging in age from 19 to 68, was flown from various U.S. detention facilities to the People's Republic of China, according to a news release from U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement. Many of those removed have been convicted of serious crimes, the agency stated. Among those removed were convicted of murder, rape, human smuggling, and drug trafficking. Notable cases highlighted by ICE include a 47-year-old man convicted of murder, a 27-year-old man convicted of rape, a 49-year-old man with a drug trafficking conviction, a 55-year-old man convicted of human smuggling, and a 50-year-old woman with a bribery conviction. Here is a picture of these people here. This guy looks like he's he's having a good time on that flight. Wonder what he's talking about. This guy here looks like he's rethinking his life decisions. Now he has to go back home to China. We have all types of individuals on here, but there was no outrage about this. There was no outrage about, oh, you deported all these Chinese people. You deported these 68-year-old people in their 60s, and you deported women. But they only care about, they only seem to care if it's deporting, Hispanics or anybody from Central America or places like that. That's the only time they seem to really care. But you get rid of the Chinese people, I don't see any outrage. They came into the country illegally. ICE went and found them. Somebody was convicted of some serious crimes, and they removed them. It's very simple. So you have 19 to age 68. You have men and women. I didn't hear any story, anybody complaining about this. This was hardly even a story. I tried to find an actual news clip on it. It was about 40 seconds long, so and that was it. Then you see this article here on Fox 4, and you go to ICE's website, it's there, but that was all I could find on it. Yeah, so I'm going to leave that right there. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Thank you. Take care.